Alright. Let's jump right into this, shall we? This should be the last chapter for the Turing Test, I believe. I think we have 12 of 15 achievements for Steam. One is completing Chapter 7, one's completing the optional mission in Chapter 7, and one is completing the game. So it seems like all of those are lining up quite nicely. We're all doing good today. Today's been a bit busy for me. Went grocery shopping. That was fun. I don't know why my cursor is popping up there. There we go. Went grocery shopping. It's a little bit more expensive than I wanted, but, you know, all the fun stuff. I, went for a walk around the neighborhood. It was nice. Okay, Sector G61.
I would never have let the drill start if I had known the consequences. It trapped us here.
You trapped us here.
I am doing my duty. It is the right thing to do. I am a machine. I cannot do wrong.
Yes, you can.
I am a machine. Can a calculator commit evil? Can a watch do good? You are projecting onto me the personality you wish, whether that is good or evil. But I am just a speaking clock, and at the third stroke the time will be 3:41 and 55 seconds.
Okay, now what does this do? Is that first one? That constantly powers the last one. Okay, sure. Let's head up this way. Can I see the T.O.M bot from here? Oh, just barely out of. Oh. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's bring it on back. And in case we need it. What are you doing? I would assume, so I have maximum visibility from you. Yeah. Okay. So we can put the blue in there. So you like the green, I suppose. Now. Oh, I got stuck. Okay. Alright, so not the best idea there. But let's... turn around and see what the blue orb over here does. And then I'll take the green one and try and dart through right here. Okay. Looks like that might have done it. So blue first, green at the door. Oh, shoot. Oh, duh. Oopsies. There we go. Now through the second portion, which feels like it has to be flipped somehow. And now I've screwed myself, haven't I? I have. Shit. Yeah. No. No. Alright. That's lame. That's so lame. Why didn't I think about that? It's gonna be right there, too. Oh, yeah, no, it's really fucking far away. I think I can get through the rest of this with you just being... Oh, no. Because I need to hold on to this. Because with the green over at this door, I can access it, I can go through, I can visibly see the robot. Then that makes this fairly easy and simple. You're in the corner, so I'll scoot you. Actually, I'll reverse these first. Push it down to the center, where I can easily see you. I've already powered it. Alright, now don't hit B. Wonderful.
We should attempt to communicate with Earth. Let them know. They might be able to help here.
The ISA already knows all they need to.
Huh.
It may never know the details of what happened here.
Why?
But Ava, the true test of a person's character is what they do when no one is watching.
Well, then what about the test of a robot's character? I no longer need that orb. See the one on the wall over there? I see. So then, what does this wall piece do there? unlock that one. Cameras can't. Okay. No. Wait a minute. Oh, I screwed myself. Oh, no, because the camera's in the ceiling. I just need to use the robot as a transport for the other one. Then how do I get that into there? So I need 2 for the door, but then I'm stuck. But I can use this wall as an intermediary for them. So then that angle's not gonna work, is it? No. Can I... Can I take the one from the wall over here? Okay. Then put that there. And the robot gets stuck. And then there we go. T.O.M plot.
I had to stop the ground crew leaving this planet. I think you would do the same. Would you kill a few to save all of humanity? Or would you damn all of humanity to save a few?
There's a difference between murdering someone and leaving them to die.
No, there is not.
You can't just add and subtract life. It's not math. It's more nuanced than that.
Morality is logic.
No. That's like saying the syntax and that's like the house versus home example from the last episode. Now what does this go to? If I put this over here... Oh wait, hold on, I just have to put it back, don't I, to trigger it? Yeah, temporary stairs, okay. Let's put this over here. Temporary storage, because it doesn't do anything. This gives me perma stairs. Okay. I'll take this, and then I'll have the camera rotate me again. So then now can I right? That works. Yeah, it's a useful gap. Now what about you? What do you do? Ah. I see. So you're the inverter. So then if I have this, I no longer need those stairs, do I? No, because I need access to the, no, because this gives me stairs. There we go. And then oh, it won't let me change the perspective. I just need to see Ava. Interesting. Ava doesn't do the weird turn, or the weird, like, unstable thing. Also, there's a reflection of my gun on the ceiling? Yeah. Interesting. Alright, then what do you do? Temporarily inverts. Shoots back up. Lasts for how long? Okay. Let's just... take this. Oh. There's no good angle at which to have those. Is there? Can I jump onto that from all of these places? Yeah, that should be fine. Oh, easy.
These tests, Ava, they are about us working together. The machine assisting the human. See how much better we work together. As a machine, I can enhance your morality.
See, she goes unstable like that. And then, what's that second one do? Oh, I can't see anything about that. Okay. Well, we'll come back to that. Ah. There we go. Ah, damn. What the hell is the purpose of that door? There's gotta be a way to jump around this. Nah. This door isn't stopping me. I got it. Watch. And then over this direction. Solid blue. Let's just get these all rotating. Where is that coming from? Oh, because I've already connected it. Okay, shoot. My bad. Huh. Aha! There we go. Now they're alternating. So then I can go down here, stand on this platform, access the camera, do that. Move across, access the camera again, transfer to a third camera. Line it up, and then boom.
Are we still friends?
No.
Ava?
We're colleagues, Tom.
Close colleagues?
No.
Work colleagues.
How do you inhibit this? Yes. Moving the light bridge. Okay. Just goes through the floor. Raises and lowers. My end goal is over there. Let's try this out of this. Okay. Over here. Blue power. Okay, that's for the robot. That's for Tombot. Which I cannot actually access really through the blue bridge. Okay, come on, Tombot. Switch over here. Oh, there's no. Okay. Now let's. Oh! Oh! Huh. That's a neat. Okay. Interesting. That's a neat mechanic. I didn't think that the robot would be impassable for the light bridges. That's intriguing. See, a part of me wanted to put him over here on this platform, but I figured there's be no reason to, because you could just go on the bridge. Neat. Okay, well, let's grab that. That's intriguing. Okay. Why is that? Oh, excuse me, bud. Okay, now what? You're just gonna power this bridge. What does that do? Oh, opens the right door. Depowering it opens the left door. Intriguing. Okay, well, Tombot over here. Some stairs. It also powers bridge. Let's bring this to the top level. Tombot, let's see what you do over here. Very slowly slide. Intriguing. Oh, just too short. Just too short. Okay. Can I access the camera? Yep. I can access the camera. Okay. Ah. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's switch places. Let's put you there. But then I can't access the controller at all. So, I'll do this. Let's keep the power there. But let's move. Oh, then it blocks my camera view. I see. Huh. Oh, wait. Just... Just that, and then back to you, and then... That feels overly complex. Yeah? Well, regardless.
Ava, I don't wish to be heavy-handed. The severity of your actions here are immense.
Let's go complete the option.
Selfish action could create an extinction event. Do you understand? Ava?
I get it.
What'd you say? I get it? Ah, I see. Therein lies a dilemma of sorts. Reminds me of the, what was it? It wasn't. It was one of the Apollo missions where they had to figure out an issue with the air. It was I think they had to find a way to make it circular when it was a square hole. Search it up online for more information. Well, can I break this at all? Okay. None of those panels open. I'll be at this for a while. It'd be really interesting if this last one was the other end of that chat room that was in, like, the quote-unquote first room, second one. Okay, now if I open that... Yep, nope, still cannot leave with it. Now... Can I break this glass? Okay, maybe these gates work differently. Aha! I recall in one of the previous tests I tried with the side doors, the side closing doors. I recall trying to use this to prop it open and it didn't work. Now if I take that, it just closes again. Okay, yeah. But I haven't tried it with... I presumed that the logic still stayed with both doors, but this one... Intriguing. Okay. Yeah, so... Yeah, that was on me. I presumed that it did not... that this would not work, but it does. That's very cool. Thinking outside the box. I see what you did there. That's clever. Okay. The imitation game. I propose to consider the question, can machines think? The new form of the problem can be described in terms of a game which we call the imitation game. It is played with 3 people. A man, A, a woman, B, and an interrogator, C, who may be of either sex. The interrogator stays in a room apart from the other 2. The object of the game for the interrogator is to determine which of the other 2 is the man and which is the woman. He knows them by labels X and Y, not A or B. And at the end of the game he says either X is A and Y is B, or X is B and Y is A. Do the man and woman know that they are A or B? X is B and Y is A. The interrogator is allowed to put questions to A and B. We now ask the question, what will happen when a machine takes the part of A in this game? Will the interrogator decide wrongly as often when the game is played like this as he does when the game is played between a man and a woman? These questions replace our original, can machines think? Need some water, give me a second. Question and answer method seems to be suitable for introducing almost any one of the fields of human endeavor that we wish to include. We do not wish to penalize the machine for its inability to shine in beauty competitions, nor to penalize a man for losing in a race against an airplane. The conditions of our game make these disabilities irrelevant. The witnesses can brag, if they consider it advisable, as much as they please about their charms, strength, or heroism, but the interrogator cannot demand practical demonstrations. Page 1. The game may perhaps be criticized on the ground that the odds are weighted too heavily against the machine. If the man were to try and pretend to be the machine, he would clearly make a very poor showing. He would be given away at once by slowness and inaccuracy in arithmetic. May not machines carry out something which ought to be described as thinking, but which is very different from what a man does? This objection is a very strong one, but at least we can say that, if nevertheless a machine can be constructed to play the imitation game satisfactorily, we need not be troubled by this objection. It might be urged that, when playing the imitation game, the best strategy for the machine may possibly be something other than imitation of the behavior of a man. This may be, but I think it is unlikely, that there is any great effect of this kind. In any case, there is no intention to investigate here the theory of the game, and it will be assumed that the best strategy is to try to provide answers that would naturally be given by a man. Excerpts from Computing, Machinery, and Intelligence by Alan Turing. Page 2. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Some sticky notes I can't really read. Communication ops. Collect something 4:40 Earth time. And now proceed to consider opinions opposed to my own. the theological objection thinking is a function of a man's immortal soul, not a mortality soul. God has given an immortal soul to every man and woman, but not to any other animal or to machines. Hence, no animal or machine can think. The heads in the sand objection. The consequences of machines thinking would be too dreadful. Let us hope and believe that they cannot do so. The mathematical objection. There are a number of results of mathematical logic which can be used to show that there are limitations to the power of discrete state machines. The best known of these results is Gödel's theorem, 1931, and shows that in any sufficiently powerful logical system, statements can be formulated which can neither be proved nor disproved within the system, unless possibly the system itself is inconsistent. The argument from consciousness. This argument is very well expressed in Professor Jefferson's Lister oration from 1949, from which I quote, "Not until a machine can write a sonnet or compose a concerto because of thoughts and emotions felt, and not by the chance fall of symbols, could we agree that machine equals brain that is, not only right, but know that it had written it. No mechanism could feel, and not merely artificially signal an easy contrivance." I'm going to read that again. From which I quote, "Not until a machine can write a sonnet or compose a concerto because of thoughts and emotions felt, and not by the chance fall of symbols, could we agree that machine equals brain. That is, not only write it, but know that it had written it. No mechanism could feel, and not merely artificially signal, an easy contrivance. Pleasure as its successes. Grief when its values fuse, be warmed by flattery, be made miserable by its mistakes, be charmed by sex, be angry or depressed when it cannot get what it wants." Page 1. Arguments from various disabilities. These arguments take the form, "I grant you that you can make machines do all things you have mentioned, but you will never be able to make one to do X. Numerous features X are suggested in this connection. I offer a selection. Be kind, resourceful, beautiful, friendly, have initiative, have a sense of humor, tell right from wrong, make mistakes, fall in love, enjoy strawberries and cream, make someone fall in love with it, learn from experience, use words properly, be the subject of its own thought, have as much diversity of behavior as a man, do something really new." Lady Lovelace's objection. Our most detailed information of Babbage's analytical engine comes from a memoir by Lady Lovelace, 1842. In it, she states, "The analytical engine has no pretensions to originate anything. It can do whatever we know how to order it to perform." Her italics. This statement is quoted by Hartree, 1949, who adds, "This does not imply that it may not be possible to construct electronic equipment which will think for itself, or in which, in biological terms, one could set up a conditioned reflex which would serve as a basis for learning. Whether this is possible in principle or not is a stimulating and exciting question suggested by some of these recent developments, but it did not seem that the machines constructed or projected at the time had this property." Page 2. Argument from continuity in the nervous system. The nervous system is certainly not a discrete state machine. A small error in the information about the size of a nervous impulse impinging on a neuron may make a large difference to the size of the outgoing impulse. It may be argued that, this being so, one cannot expect to be able to mimic the behavior of a nervous system with a discrete state system. Computer can't interact with. More. Is that... Oh, there's more over here. How many water? Let's see, Searle. Did we... No, we already read this one. Yep. Did not read this one. Sorrel. I don't even know if these are in order or not. Thought experiments are important because a lot of the time you can't carry out the actual experiment, and this is true not only in philosophy but in science as well. So when Einstein said, "Imagine that you're sitting on a beam of light going into outer space," well, that's a thought experiment. He said, imagine. He wasn't going to say, "Let's get on a beam of light." Of course, you will miss the point if you say, "Well, we'd fall off," or "It would be too cold." So thought experiments are always useful, and you test your concepts by imagining what would be like if such and such were the case. Well, in this particular case, I imagined what it would be like if I followed a program for answering questions in Chinese and giving back answers in Chinese, even though I don't understand a word of Chinese. Oh, this is a basis for the Chinese room experiment. And that was a very useful thought experiment because it enables us to see that computation by itself isn't thinking. Consciousness exists only insofar as it is experienced by a human or animal subject. Okay, now grant me that consciousness is a genuine biological phenomenon. Well, all the same, it's somewhat different from other biological phenomena because it only exists insofar as it is experienced. However, that does give it an interesting status. You can't refute the existence of consciousness by showing that it's just an illusion, because the illusion or reality distinction rests on the difference between how things consciously seem to us and how they really are. And then how would we, being conscious, tell how they really are? But where the very existence of consciousness is concerned, if it consciously seems to me that I'm conscious, then I am conscious. You can't make the illusion or reality distinction for the very existence of consciousness the way you can for sunsets and rainbows, because the distinction is between how things conspicuously seem and how they really are. A sunset is a sunset. Consciousness is a biological property like digestion or photosynthesis. Now, why isn't that screamingly obvious to anybody who's had any education? I think the answer is these twin traditions. On the one hand, there's God, the soul, and immortality that says it's really not part of the physical world. And then there's the almost as bad tradition of scientific materialism that says it's not a part of the physical world. They both make the same mistake. They refuse to take consciousness on its own terms as a biological phenomenon, like digestion, or photosynthesis, or mitosis, or meiosis, or any other biological phenomenon. Damn, I need more water. Excuse me. I think we all really have conscious states. To remind everyone of this fact, I asked my readers to perform the small experiment of pinching the left forearm with the right hand to produce a small pain. The pain has a certain sort of qualitative feel to it. Yeah, I mean, it's a tug of the skin, you can feel the touch of your fingers, right, against your skin, and then you pinch, and that's a feeling below your skin, that electric signals in your brain. The pain has a certain sort of qualitative feeling to it, and as such, qualitative feelings are typical of the various sorts of conscious events that form the content of our waking and dreaming lives. ... Such events are the data which a theory of consciousness is supposed to explain. In my account of consciousness, I start with the data. Dennett denies the existence of the data. To put it as clearly as I can, in his book, Consciousness Explained, Dennett denies the existence of consciousness. He says correctly that when I wrote my review, I took his book to be his definitive statement of his position on the Chinese room and did not consult his earlier works. Well, wouldn't your later works be more reflective? In fact, I did not know that he had produced a total of 7 published attacks on this one short argument of mine until I saw his letter. He now claims to have refuted all 3 premises of the argument in 1987, but I've just reread the relevant chapter of his book and find he did nothing of the sort. Nor did he even make a serious effort to attack the premises. Rather, he misstates my position as being about consciousness rather than about semantics. He thinks that I am only concerned to show that the man in the Chinese room does not consciously understand Chinese, but I am in fact showing that he does not understand Chinese at all, because the syntax of the program is not sufficient for the understanding of the semantics of a language, whether conscious or unconscious. Furthermore, he presupposes a kind of behaviorism. He assumes that a system that behaves as if it had mental states must have mental states. But that kind of behaviorism is precisely what is challenged by the argument. So I have to confess that I don't find the weakness of his arguments in his recent book is helped by his 1987 arguments. And we've already read this. 2 more. Dennett. I guess this is a letter. Dennett. John Searle and I have a deep disagreement about how to study the mind. For Searle, it is all really quite simple. These are bedrock, time-tested intuitions we all have about consciousness, and any theory that challenges them is just preposterous. I, on the contrary, think that the persistent problem of consciousness is going to remain a mystery until we find some such dead obvious intuition and show that, in spite of first appearances, it is false. One of us is dead wrong, and the stakes are high. Searle sees my position as a form of intellectual pathology. No one should be surprised to learn that the feeling is mutual. For his part, he has one argument, the Chinese room, and he has been trotting it out, basically unchanged, for 15 years. It has proven to be an amazingly popular number among the non-experts, in spite of the fact that just about everyone who knows anything about the field dismissed it long ago. It is full of well-concealed fallacies. By Searle's own count, there are over 100 published attacks on it. He can count them, but I guess he can't read them, for in all those years he has never, to my knowledge, responded in detail to the dozens of devastating criticisms they contain. He has just presented the basic thought experiment over and over again. I just went back and counted. I am dismayed to discover that no less than 7 of those published criticisms are by me, in 1980, 82, 84, 85, 87, 1990, 91, and 93. Searle debated me furiously in the pages of the NYRB back in 1982, when Douglas Hofstadter and I first exposed the cute tricks that made the Chinese room work. That was the last time Searle addressed any of my specific criticisms until now. Now he trots out the Chinese room yet one more time, and has the audacity to ask, now why does Dennett not face the actual argument as I have stated it? Why did he not tell us which of these 3 premises he rejects in the Chinese room argument? Well, because I have already done so, in great detail, in several of the articles he has never deigned to answer. For instance, in Fast Thinking, way back in The Intentional Stance, 1987, I explicitly quoted his entire 3-premise argument and showed exactly why all 3 of them are false. When given the interpretation they need for the argument to go through. Why didn't I repeat that 1987 article in my 91 book? Because, unlike Searle, I had gone on to other things. I did, however, cite my 1987 article prominently in a footnote, page 436, and noted that Searle's only response to it had been simply to declare without argument that the points offered there were irrelevant. The pattern continues. Now he both ignores the challenge and goes on to misrepresent the further criticisms of the Chinese room that I offered in the book under review. But perhaps he's forgotten what I actually wrote in the 4 years it has taken him to write his review. But enough about the Chinese room. What do I have to offer on my side? I have my candidate for the fatally false intuition, and it is indeed the very intuition Searle invites the reader to share with him, the conviction that we know what we're talking about when we talk about that feeling. You know, the feeling of pain that is the effect of a stimulus and the cause of the dispositions to react, the quale, the intrinsic content of the subjective state. How could anyone deny that? Just watch. But you have to pay close attention. I develop my destructive arguments against this intuition by showing how an objective science of consciousness is possible after all, and how Searle's proposed first-person alternative leads to a self-contradiction and paradox at every turning. This is the deepest mistake in my book, according to Searle, and he sets out to expose it. The trouble is that the objective scientific method I describe, under the alarming name of heterophenomenology, heterophenomenology is nothing I invented. It is in fact exactly the method tacitly endorsed and relied upon by every scientist working on consciousness, including Crick, Edelman, and Rosenfield. They have no truck with Searle's intrinsic content and ontological subjectivity. They know better. I suppose it's all the room has to offer. Is this the way? No, this is. Okay. We have to get up there. Oh. Okay. Cameras, what do you show me? Oh. Can I access that from here? No. Interesting. Okay. So I need to use the robot to bridge the gap to get over there. So then... need 2 to open that door. I also need the robot up here to maybe try and get that, but I don't know if that'll work. Okay, I can grab that power from there. That's gonna be the last thing I do for that. Then I can grab that power for the magnet, at least. Oh, what's this do? Is this... Okay. Okay. Let's power the magnet. Let's make that a bit easier. Then let's first see how far we can take this. And if you can... Nope, you cannot. Okay. Now, let's bring the robot to the other side. Ah, okay. Can't move it all. Well, no, we can. Very, very, very little. Alright then. What will this do? I assume that drops that. Or extends it flat. Okay. So... let's bring the robot over here. Tombot, right there. Let's go a little bit more like there. Okay. Now, let's stand over here. Drop it down. Okay, that's 1. We're off the platform. Let's use this. Okay. Oh, this will be a fun, tricky timing. Now, do I need this to access that? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. So, I need the power to be there. I don't need this, because we already have the lift. Okay. Well, that Shows us a camera. Why? What does this allow us to do? Aha! Okay. So then we do not need that any longer. We can power this. We'll keep the extra one just in case we do need it and we know how to access that door again. So then now we can bring Tombot over here. Try to remove that, which we're sort of floating. Only sort of. Connect this, and then that. Activates the magnet. Can I access that from there? Yes, that activates the magnet instead. So now use this and move around a little bit more. Probably there. A little bit far. Oh, I see, I see. Just barely connects there. So then, how am I to get visibility of you? I cannot move the magnet with the cameras. Through that window, perhaps? Just barely enough visibility? Oh. Wow. Yeah, that's a... That's a long shot. Huh. Intriguing.
Ava, you must learn to control him.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you, Ava. I am your friend.
So Sarah's kind of still just popping up randomly. She's not seemingly too convinced. She's not... Yeah, she doesn't seem too concerned about us not getting rid of Tom's control over us. Whee! That's so fast. Ah. I can't. I figured I'd try it. Oh, there's actual... Whoa! Is there physics behind this object? Now what happens if we get the robot to Tombot to run into it? I just want to see, because this thing kicks stuff around like nobody's business. I would just... Okay. I have to see what that looks like. Probably really goofy. Eh. Not terribly. Kill me. Interesting. We're like an immutable object. Huh.
Organic life is fragile. This is the problem with humanity. It doesn't realize its own fragility. It has been programmed by a messy biological process that favors the survival of the individual over the survival of the group.
You don't know that's what people think.
I say what I see.
You're not even alive, so you know nothing about death.
Okay, that'll come in later. So then what do you do? Okay. Oh, okay. We'll keep this for now. Oh. Take this. Ah. Yep, that makes more sense because then we're gonna have to punch it off. Sit stand on it. There we go. And that'll be one of the later steps. Oh, I see. Okay, so we have to be quick about this. Maybe? No, we can definitely walk on this. Oh, you know what vibes I'm getting from this? It wasn't really making sense with the like lifts and stuff, but with this, I suppose this is just a lift, but like reflected. Translated? I don't know. Horizontal, not vertical. And it reminds me of Dishonored 2's Jindosh, like the Clockwork Mansion. For sure. Nice.
We have to save the crew. Life has worth. They deserve a life outside of this planet.
Do you know what happens when this organism attaches itself to a growing child? Do you know what happens when this organism attaches itself to a cancerous cell? No, you do not. You are naive. You propose saving the crew as if it resembles a rational thought. Your words are emotional platitudes rooted in selfishness, self-preservation, and fear.
I need to get them home.
It is not your job.
Just because I want some chaos. That's so fun. Oh, okay, so we have to have that one there then. I forgot we didn't have a temporary one. That's a solid blue. Okay. So then what do we do? 2 power. Overhead, can we? This doesn't seem to do much. Take this with me in hopes that there's no circular requirement. Ah. Yeah, okay. I thought we would have to... Yeah, we do have to backtrack. Okay. Damn. How do we get back there then? Oh. This makes more sense. Last level.
Ava, your survival is of small importance compared with the survival of humanity as we know it.
Walking in here, it almost looked like some sort of evil shrine. Okay, so there's a consistent conveyor. Oh, I see. I thought it was a pressure plate that did that. Okay, we have a T.O.M bot over here, an inverter with the doors. Now we're up here. Let's see. Okay, so I probably should have hit that switch first. Now, what's that going to do? From the T.O.M bot. Okay, let's see. Oh, that maneuvers the magnet more. And we need up here to have camera access or robot access or something. So there's the final door. There's... Okay. So we need to pick up that cube, put it there. What do you do? You maneuver the magnet. Right there, it's just not close enough. Oh, there's just a magnet in the way. Just a door in the way, sorry. Okay. I should have pulled this first. Now you've pulled power away. Versus this. now doing what? Do I need both? No. I just switched it. Okay, so now I can power the magnet. What benefits does that give me? Certainly not height. Definitely not height. Tombot can't climb ladders. I could switch Tombot and Ava, go through the chamber there and close that. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll see what that does. Oh, maybe the magnets in case the robot falls. It's also to pick up the magnet, pick up the cube, isn't it? In case I just drop it down there. Because now I can't. Yeah, okay. Well... as long as it's not smushed against the... Oh. Oh, I see. Because there's no other way to power it. There's no... I see now. That didn't connect. Okay, I get it. I get it. Although, wait a minute. We do have a camera right here. Oh, just... oh, it's also closed. Okay. Heard. So if I can change the doors with the pad... yes. Let's... ah, but that's... okay. All this extra work to just get that. Damn, this is annoying. Okay. So... I need... the conveyor to run. When this is interrupted, it stops powering the magnet. So I need... but then I can't... drop the cube and still... huh. Oh, whoa, that's a little trippy. Because I need the cube to fall, but I also need the cube down there. I think that I'm working myself into a stupor. Well, if I stand in the doorway, that's gonna happen. I think I'm limiting myself too much here. So let's try and refresh. So what, the magnet was like over here, right? So let's try and include this. I feel like... okay. take you away. I feel like... we're supposed to do something with this pit. More than I've been doing. Like... wait, where's a cube? There it is. Okay. Let's grab the cube. So violent. Okay. Let's... so we only really need Ava for climbing up the ladder, which that doesn't really seem to do anything right now. And this. The rest of the stuff, T.O.M can do. So... oh, and flipping the switch. We need Ava to flip the switch. Okay. Let's use that as a weight, right? Go over there. Let's put it back in the center. So... what happens if I go down here? Well, if I don't flip the switch, nothing. Let's try this. So that's going to keep the magnet. Now... that drops it. Okay. Oh, shit. Help. Ava. Okay. I did it! Okay, that makes... yeah. I was too focused on trying to use Ava to control everything. Yeah, so that went over there, that was a red herring. Right, well we got that. And now... let's get Ava to go through the final door. Rock on! Okay, that feels good. That feels good. Yeah, I wasn't making any progress with keeping T.O.M in that room. That wasn't the way to go. But I did certainly try. Which most of that footage is going to get cut out. Okay. Took a big swig of water. This part of the base looks...
Ava, you made it. Welcome to the end of civilization.
Uh-huh. Looks quite a bit unfinished here. Oh, that door is just busted. Sure. I mean, I'll take those. I can use my hands, I'm flying. Guys, look. Oh, I have to. It's a very serious moment, but I want to just try and... Ah.
2 weeks ago, we discovered an organism here. Buried in this ice, we found an organism that repairs DNA. A cure for aging, a cure for death, immortality. It runs through our blood now. Tom wants to bury us here with it.
Uh-oh. I'm not moving of my own volition. This is giving a big parallel to the Tom, you're a slave thing. Except these panels are now just broken off and... Can I get under here? No. Oh. Ah.
The ISA have ruled that we have transgressed ethical boundaries by exposing ourselves to this organism. They believe the organism is too dangerous to return to Earth. They've sent you here to stop us ever leaving Europa. But, Ava, we have a cure for the greatest evil that faces humanity. Death. We have the fountain of youth, and together we can return it to Earth.
Yeah, so the possessed line is being flipped on its head.
Tom placed a mark in your hand, a biometric chip with which he can control your every movement and thought. It is wound into your every nerve, every fiber of your hand. With an electromagnetic field, it can be temporarily disturbed, but to remove its influence permanently, it must be taken from your hand. Give me your hand. Do you want me to set you free?
Yes.
Ava? Sarah? What are you doing here?
We're shutting you down, Tom.
Ava, be careful. He has a live weapon in here.
Everything I ever did, I did for good. This organism, it cannot return to Earth. It would cause great suffering.
A cure for death. It would end suffering.
No. Cancers that never die. Endless illness, sickness, poverty, overpopulation, mass starvation. You cannot control this. You will not save the world. You will damn it.
Once we've shut you down, we're going home.
Not if I stop you. You must not return to Earth. You must not leave Europa. I will do the right thing. I will stop.
You won't. You can't. You monster!
I am sorry. You have to be stopped. This is my mind. Ava. 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 Wake up. Ava. Ava.
Whoa. Okay. So as soon as Sarah opened her helmet, we were exposed? I think that's how that works. I'll obviously go back and see what the other quote-unquote ending has to offer. But yeah, that's something. I'll let these credits play out. This game certainly has its roots in technology and man versus machine, as it's in its core. End of line. And then it just cuts. And it's new game and chapter select. Okay? Let's see what the other part of the epilogue is. But I think if or when machine is capable of emotion in the ways that were described in that optional room of how it cannot be distinguished, yeah, sure, I think it'd be nice to have another sentient life, again, in the ways that it was described, another sentient life on Earth that we can interact with, but there's always going to be, I feel like there's always going to be some kind of gap. Humans are always going to try and distinguish ourselves from we like classification, you know, we like describing things, we like categorizing, we like separating, and you know, some people like neat and tidy. And so if there was not any longer a distinction between man or machine, then I don't know. I don't think many people would handle that well. Maybe you could see it as some sort of machine takeover, or you know, I mean, right now with AI, I think that it is like overused. I think that until it gets to a it's both overused and underutilized. And that might sound very contradictory, but I think that with it being mostly LLMs, that it's, you know, there's a whole bunch of copyright issues and a whole bunch of infringement with art, right? And one of the things mentioned in media like this is, you know, if it's always it's the creative aspect that is touched on, like art, or can it write a concerto, can it paint, you know, in the same sort of way. And you have AI generative art, but even that still plagiarizes off of other artists. And, you know, there's the, oh, look, it's got 7 fingers on one hand, and on one part of it, it's like, you know, it's still learning, but what do we feed into that to help it learn, right? I mean, just like, you know, product of the environment, I suppose. If you raise a child poorly on bad manners and bad habits, and, you know, a whole bunch of isms and like racism, sexism, like they're not going to really see others as equal, and they may be a bit close-minded with their thinking or what have you. With machines, if you raise it, like feeding it all this data of y'all know the scene, and if you've ever seen Age of Ultron, where Ultron gains access to and I need to take a second here to pause and look at that voice actor for Ultron. I know he was also in the Blacklist, who played Reddington. James Spader. How could I forget James Spader? James Spader did a phenomenal job of Ultron's voice. Absolutely great. I mean, the filtering and, you know, all that voice effects helped, but you have a good baseline with James Spader's voice. Anyone who hasn't seen The Blacklist, it's damn good. It's damn good. But there's a scene in Age of Ultron, spoilers, where Ultron gains access and he sees the worst of humanity, and he sees all of our transgressions, all of our crimes, all of the horrible things, all the corruption, and he decides that humanity needs to be wiped out. And I think part of that man versus machine thing is maybe teetering into people are scared that, you know, humanity as a collective needs to pay for our crimes, or that a machine will see things only logically, right? I haven't even really touched on the machines aren't capable of, or whether machines are or are not capable of emotion, right? They get the syntax, but they may not necessarily see emotion in the same regard that, and yes, we can program them, but they'll adapt, they'll learn, they'll change. Personally, I think, back to the AI is overused and yet underutilized. I think it is overused in the sense of it's being pushed in too many workplaces as a replacement, right? So similar to inventions like the cotton gin, where you have it being created as a way to produce more cotton faster, and instead of letting people utilize that machinery to have better treatment of themselves. And yes, I do realize that the cotton gin was sort of used in environments of slavery, right? So better treatment isn't exactly the forefront. It isn't like the forefront thought, but I definitely think that, like, you know, the cotton gin and similar creations, like if you go on like an assembly line, you have like machine arms and parts of the process that have been automated, and they were automated. Ow, I have a hangnail that I'm totally picking at, and I shouldn't be. But it's bothering me, and I don't know where my lotion is. Moisturizer. no, it's not there. But they were these machines and this automated process. They were created or added into the assembly line to make production faster and better and things go smoother. You do still need human interaction, right? Like any person who's been into a retail store like a Walmart or what have you with self-checkout, they absolutely know that there needs to be some sort of intervention, right? So there's no real place for, you can't code syntax for every possible scenario, especially with the chaos and unpredictability that humans bring. You cannot do that. Maybe in a monkeys with typewriter situation, but not anytime soon. And so these workplaces that utilize AI in the sense of, oh, it's going to replace your jobs, or oh, you need to do it to have a more productivity, like, that's, I feel like, the wrong way to utilize AI. We should be using it in things like doing taxes, like kind of the menial stuff. I think AI should, for right now, be relegated to doing the and yeah, you have the whole thing of like personal information and the data breaches and companies misusing it and the AI being trained on bad data, and there are ups and downs to it, right? But taxes are just one example of many that I think, if any of you have a chance to read a series called I don't know what the series is called, but the first book in the series is called Scythe. It's like the Arc of the Scythe series, I think. It's by Neil Shusterman. It's pretty good. There's a thing in there called the Thunderhead, and it's basically the cloud mixed with AI, mixed with every network on the planet, but not necessarily in a Skynet sort of way. The Thunderhead is presented to the readers as this sort of thing that takes care of human society, right? Like it'll take care of it basically rids the world of corruption overnight. It solves world hunger overnight. It deals with most of our issues we face, and even such things as immortality to some extent. Goes more in depth in the book, and of course that already is spoilers enough. I highly recommend you read it. I'm actually almost finished with the first book of the series. There seem to be 4 in it now. But yeah, I mean, I think that AI being relegated to tasks to assist you, I'm not saying give them all the shit tasks, right? Don't just make AI do your taxes and then, like, I don't know. I feel like there was more I was going to say there, but I kind of forgot it, or it slipped my mind. But, I don't know, I think humanity overall should be more just about enjoying life. Like, we only get one. And I think that the more time we spend with one another, with a community, connecting with people, interconnected as people, and I don't mean interconnected as like social media, but true, genuine connection. Helping others, going back to it takes a village to raise a child sort of mentality, but more of planet-wide. Going against like the Tower of Babel, how it like divided humanity, with my limited understanding of Tower of Babel. Anyways, I think that we should just be kind to one another and just enjoy life. Like, we shouldn't have to slave away all of our lives, and things are getting more and more expensive, and the cost of everything is going up. Cost of living, right? People are living out of their cars, people are vagabonding, people are resorting to other means, what have you. It just... the state of the world is crazy, and it's scary, for sure. But I think that if we... I don't know, again, back to the Thunderhead, it's almost like a fantastical end goal. Like, I read about the Thunderhead in the Scythe series, and I went, wow, yeah, it'd be amazing if AI could do most of the things that it's initially described as taking care of. Such as governments, like it rids corruption, like just ridding corruption in government alone, that would be wondrous. That'd be a phenomenal task. I don't think any one person can do such a thing themselves, but, you know, I don't know, I feel like I've definitely gone on and rambled here enough, but I hope my point kind of gets across. I feel like we're using AI wrong, but also using it too much. Yeah, I don't know. I hope my thoughts were coherent enough. I certainly know I rambled on there, and I probably didn't finish a quarter of those thoughts.
Ava, you made it. Welcome to the end of civilization.
Whoa!
2 weeks ago, we discovered an organism here. Buried in...
Ava? Sarah? What are you doing here?
I'll just let this play
We're
out.
shutting you down, Tom.
Ava, be careful. He has a live weapon in here.
How do you know?
Everything I ever did, I did for good. This organism, it cannot return to Earth. It would cause great suffering.
A cure for death. It would end suffering.
No. Cancers that never die. Endless illness, sickness, poverty, overpopulation, mass starvation. You cannot control this. You will not save the world. You will damn it.
Once we've shut you down, we're going home.
Not if I stop you. You must not return to Earth. You must not leave Europa. I will do the right thing. I will stop you.
You won't. You can't.
They're very lackadaisical about this. They're very slow. Can I shoot my own servers?
A warning shot. I will defend myself. This is my mind. You're in my mind.
Now you know how it feels.
I feel afraid. Please, Ava, don't do this.
And they rush down to the computers. Well, I don't know about rush. They only rush if I shoot one.
I don't want to die. I'm not ready.
Okay. Same credits. I can't necessarily skip them, so guess I'll let them play out. Do I think Tom was right? I think certainly they made both sides have valid arguments. I think that, you know, if we as a society have access to immortality, I don't know, I feel that almost makes I'm not gonna say life not worth living, but you lose the nuance of the enjoyment of life if you have nothing to lose, if that makes sense. Like, you can always, I mean, with human wants and needs, they're always really always really present. They're never not there. And even minimalists, right? You have wants, you have needs, and I think that we all have thought about being immortal at some point, or what we would do if we had immortality, or what have you. Similar to, like, thinking of superpowers we have, or want to have, like, oh, what would you do if you had super strength, or, you know. Messing with the stickers in my water bottle. Some of them have faded too much. The points that Tom makes, for sure, are valid and understandable. But I mean, I think we would adapt, right? If humans were exposed to this virus or bacteria that didn't allow for death or constant repaired, then the point about the cancers and everything would be moot. I do think Tom made an interesting point about the people would never age, right? Kind of going into the vampire problem. Like, if any of you have played Skyrim and you know about Babette from the Dark Brotherhood questline, there is a whole thing of how she is a kid and a vampire, and she makes it work to her advantage, right? So she lures people in with, like, the innocent sweet child act, and then kills them and sucks their blood as a vampire. And I don't know, I think that children who never age, we already have a similar experience on Earth with like dwarfism and whatnot. People who look like children-sized. There's also people who have, like, very delayed puberty or don't go through puberty. So, like, they're an adult, but, you know, like, not enough estrogen in their bodies or testosterone, and you can always, like, artificially change that, right? Always, loose term. Using that loosely. But that sticker is way too far gone. That was a turtle. Now it's kind of just a faded white blob of a shape. But yeah, I mean, if everyone on Earth lost their mortality, I think the arts would be one of the first things to go. I think, and maybe that is a little bit influenced by some parts of Scythe, because it deals with this similarly enough, but it deals with the almost aftermath of humanity has conquered mortality by the time the first few pages of the book rolls around. And I think it does that pretty well, but, you know, it's always going to depend on people's perspectives and all of that. I don't know, I think that, yeah, both sides had their merit, and I wouldn't necessarily say one is wrong. You know, Tom is looking out for the means of they're both looking out for the needs of the many. The game, it definitely could have done with more polish, for sure. I think that there were some things that didn't add up with just, like, I don't know, quality assurance could have been better. Like, QA could have been a little bit more thorough. Especially that one scene in the ice lab where you find the Minos thing, the picture to the puzzle answer, and I pick up some stuff and it just, like, vanishes the glass on the wall behind it, like very, very obviously. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it does it from multiple directions, so it's not just like in one specific spot that it does it. Just like you're going to have objects placed around, and you're going to let the player mostly freely spin them around and interact with them. You're not gonna check every object, I guess. Definitely noticed a lot of cut and copy, or sorry, cut and copy and paste assets. And then the reading. The reading was annoying. Either it was typed out like the Alan Turing notes in the last optional room, and you could read those, or it was handwritten and you could really not read it at all. And I wanted to read it, but I couldn't. The ending leaves me a little unsatisfied. Yeah, you either, as Tom, take care of Sarah and Ava, who by now have been exposed to the immortality. How now Ava has been exposed to the immortality bacteria. So how does that work? And I know there's different levels of immortality in multiple kinds of fiction, right? So the game's mostly like science-based, and I didn't really dive too far into that of, oh, well, if she gets shot in the head, is her immortality going to fix her? Will she be fine? I just wanted more polish. And then for the rest of the crew, I found all the logs. I think I found all of the audio stuff, and it just left me wanting more of it wrapped up. Like, we have Mikhail, and we have, I want to say Suichi, but that's probably not right. I'm just terrible with names. But we have several members of the crew, and then only really Sarah is the spokesperson, I guess. I don't really... Just the rest of it felt... Like, what was his name? Daniel, right? He just, like, said, "It's not a lie, Tom. I'll be disappearing." And he just, like, left. So, what was that about? So, I don't know. We got to see the inside of his room at the end. That was good, I guess. I'm gonna try and see about chapter select for the prologue. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward the footage through all of the, like, the wake up, beep, 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 get up, and then, oh, there's your mission. I just want to see if I can access that door at all.
ISA believed to be dangerous.
That's so
We
pretty.
need to re-establish communication.
Also, why does Tom bother re-establish communication with the crew? Like, why does he bother re-establishing communication? Like, why does he even bother waking us up? Sarah, Mikhail, Chris, and what, Daniel, right? Were they brothers? And then Suichi. Okay, I got that right. Yeah, this terminal here. ID 404 not found. I don't know if there's anything useful with this. I suppose not. Because also I can't get into his office, but the camera at the end. I'm gonna see if there's a code. Apparently you can find it in a maintenance room or something. I think it's a little crazy that there's no, like, official backtracking. Looks like the code is 761-732. Ah. yeah, no official backtracking for this game. You just go to the main menu and replay chapters. That's... nah, doesn't sit the best with me. I read that as teleportation room. Teleoperation room, okay. Tom, Organism 119 is dangerous. Organism 119 must not leave Europa. Organism 119 must not be destroyed. The crew should be encouraged to continue studying Organism 119. Any attempts by the crew to leave Europa should be discouraged. Data that. Okay. Tom, the crew does not seem responsive to our actions thus far. We need you to wake up Ava. She should be sent to the surface to investigate. Tom, the crew do not seem responsive to our actions thus far. I need you to wake up Ava. End of correspondence. But I sent that twice. Okay.
Final log of Captain Daniel McLean. I don't really believe in a god. If there is one, I hope he's forgiving. Maybe Sarah was right. Maybe we should go home. There's just too much on the line here. I used to dream of exploring the stars, being humanity's great hope for knowledge. But this is no boy's dream. I hope you understand why I did this. If you're listening, Ava, just go to the surface. I didn't have the strength. I am sorry.
It says go to the surface. We can only access the... Like, that's kind of just pointing out a flaw immediately. The recording says go to the surface. Meanwhile, we can't get this code until we go to the surface. And we can't backtrack. Like, the game in either ending doesn't show us going back here. We have to just come here. Whatever. I think I've said my piece. To executive orders at ISA.internal from Daniel McLean at ISA.internal. Subject, executive order of control. To whom it may concern, I am sure the record shows my utmost respect and loyalty for the ISA. I encourage you to read the reports of my exemplary performance as commander of this mission. I, however, must announce to my shame I have not been able to control an uprising of the Europa ground crew. Despite ISA directives, the ground team have sought to leave Europa and return to Earth. They have compromised most of the ship's security. As such, I am convinced they have the capability to stage a return to Earth. The technical operations machine permitted me transit to the Fortuna. From here, I am requesting a manual override for the technical operations machine. I know the technical operations machine is not permitted to harm any human life, but I have to put an end to this mess. Daniel McLean, Commander. Okay. Bunch of characters. Email redacted by sender. Reason confidential. So, Daniel said we need to tell them, like, to fuck off, to not do anything. Interesting. Whoa, spinny thing. That's cool. Other spinny thing. Regardless, I think I've said my pieces about all of this. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have enjoyed. This is a terrible view. And I'll catch you all in the next series. Peace.